We're going to deal with nothing but transformation. I'm going to be teaching from my book, The Four Phases of Transformation. So if you enjoy what's being taught this week, make sure you stop by B.F.Nkrumah.com and pick up the book, The Four Phases of Transformation. So that's the overall theme. But today we're going to be dealing with the idea of becoming aware that there's more. I remember when I was 9 years old, right, I moved to this very diverse neighborhood. And I don't know if it's because I only saw Chinese movies or Chinese stores, or we didn't get to that part of the map in school yet. But at 9, I thought everybody from Asia was Chinese. I had no idea that there were different types of Asian people. Then one day I met something I didn't know existed, a Cambodian. And it messed my head up. But after that, I asked everybody I met, where are you from? I wanted to know. So I met Vietnamese and Portuguese and Filipino. I put myself in position to learn more. In life, that's what we have to do, and many of us don't do it. We can come across something new and just treat it like this crazy anomaly and act like we should not keep pressing to learn more. And we stay stuck at what we see every day. But you have to understand that there is more to the life that you live than the life that you see every day. If you're in a bad place, in a bad condition, in a bad city, you're never going to see the pinnacle of who you have the potential to be. So whenever you're learning more, or if you have to put yourself in position to learn more, because if you don't become aware that there is more, you will never be more than who you are today. So just like I was at 9, like, wow, something new came up. Now I want to know more. I want to know more of the world. My whole world view was broadened just because I met a Cambodian. And then from that point forward, I said, if he's Cambodian, then maybe some of these other children are from other places. And then boom, I was able to see so much more. How much more could you learn about business? How much more could you learn about life? How much more could you learn about yourself? How much more could you learn about your potential? How much more can you learn about growth if you intentionally put yourself in position to understand that there is more out there to life? Now we're going to break this question down into two things. One, you have to become aware that there's more to you as an individual, and then you have to become aware that there is more to the world as a whole. So now, become aware that there's more to you. Understand this. There is more to who you are than who you are. Just because you are something right now does not mean that there aren't talents inside of you. Does not mean that there aren't potentials that are lying dormant. It does not mean just because you're not doing something today that you're not easily great at something. You ever start doing something and it just comes to you easy, but other people, it's hard for them to do it? That's because it was deep down inside of you, but you didn't understand it. So you have to become aware that there's more, but you got to learn. You have to put yourself in position to learn what your more is. See, your more is that thing that you're capable of that you don't even know exists. Or your more is that thing that you saw out there in the world, but you just could not see yourself doing it. Whenever we say things like, I couldn't see myself, like, I don't believe I'll be able to, we freeze ourselves in the state that we're in. And we'll never be able to grow. We'll never be able to reach the pinnacle of who we are because we can't see ourselves doing more than what we've previously done. And we live our lives so low beneath our potential simply because we did not expose ourselves to more things. But if you want to grow, if you want to succeed in business, if you want to live a better life, you have to expose yourself to that better. You have to understand that there is more to you. You can do so much more than what you've done. And if you look back over your life, you'll see, it's no doubt, that from the time you were 5 to the age that you are now, you were introduced to some things you did not know that you can do. You learned how to do them, and then you mastered certain things. But you have not taken that idea to become intentional about it. See, one thing about me, I'm real big on intention, because we think that by happenstance, we just gonna fall into stuff. No, you have to be intentional about being the best version of you. You have to be intentional about your success. You have to be intentional about your growth. If you're not intentional, I guarantee you things are not just gonna fall into your lap. You becoming great is not going to fall into your lap. I don't care how gifted a basketball player is. If he don't train, he's not going to be great. I done seen some naturally gifted boxers get their heads knocked off by somebody who was in a gym every day. So you have to become aware that there is more to you. Secondly, you have to become aware that there's more to the world. Now, just like it's more to you than who you've been, it's more to the world than what you see every day. Quick little story. And sometimes it's right in front of your face. I was teaching this lesson at a prison, or I was scheduled to teach this lesson at a prison. So I was driving on my way to the jail. And for some reason, I had the radio on. I never had a radio on, but I had it on this day. And as I'm driving, the weather is being, what's the word? I don't even know. They're telling you what the weather is. And after they got done, they said, it's so-and-so, your local meteorologist. And since I was in this becoming aware that there's more zone, I was driving and I said, I don't know anybody that's a meteorologist. I don't know anybody who ever wanted to be a meteorologist. I don't know what it takes to be a meteorologist. I don't even know how much a meteorologist get paid. Right there. I had never thought about being a meteorologist. I didn't know anybody who ever did. I don't know any black child, just from my experience, that was like, I want to be a meteorologist. See, sometimes there are things right in your face that you can be, and they was making some really good money. There are things that you can be that you never saw yourself being. It's right there in your face. Every day you see the news, you see the meteorologist, you hear it on the radio, but you never thought that you can be there. Now, remove meteorologists with any and everything that's in this world. There are so many different positions. There are so many different places. There are so many different titles. There's so many different genres of life that you can be in, that you can succeed in. It's right in your face, but you never saw yourself do it. You got to become aware that there's more. It's more to the world than the world that you saw every day. But understand this, and get this real serious right here. You cannot have or attain that which you do not know exists. If you do not see it, if you do not know it exists, how are you going to walk into it? You have to be intentional about uncovering the things that you never knew that you could do. You have to be intentional about finding out the gifts that are inside of you. You have to be intentional about saying, listen, I have this gift, but how does this gift translate into a bunch of other things? And how can what I know, what I do, my skill set, how can these things be used in different lanes in order to make me my best self? Let's talking about